I'm taking a stand for the American blue jean. Pandemic hit, I stuck to my guns. It was a huge risk. I said, I'm a Marine. We go into the fire, we go into the danger. Someone needed to jump in and fight that fight, and that's what keeps me going every day.
Hey Trinidad, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Right, Trinidad Garcia III, you were introduced to me, what was it, like 3 or 4 months ago by Debbie Cole.
Yes.
And that was the first time that we got to meet, but I had seen the Trinidad brand quite a bit before then. And I'd seen them at all my usual haunts, all the biker shows. This really cool Airstream that we're in now. Got Trinidad Loyal down the side of it. And you were supplying these high-end jeans in biker culture environments. I saw your Chopper Fest, DGR, recently at Born Free. Now, there's a lot behind you to unpack. American fashion designer, former Marine Corps veteran, FIDM alumni, and a mad Southern Californian addict to everything from lowrider skating to the biker culture. I want to start at the beginning. What came first? Your addiction to the culture, jeans, or the military?
The chicken or the egg, right?
Yeah, always.
The very first thing that came to me was the blue jean when I was a kid. Back to school shopping, I was just obsessed with the blue jean. So I knew going into first grade, second grade, I didn't have a car, so you get kind of judged by what you're wearing. And I got really creative. So we were limited in funds, so I had to make sure I put together outfits that I wore. Whatever I wore on Monday and Tuesday, I would recycle it on Thursday or Friday and then mix and match. And my mom would tell me, like, hey, you can get 5 shirts and 1 jean, or you can get 3 jeans and 2 shirts. And I couldn't remember what kids wore at the end of the week, so then I manipulated the system from a very young age. So the blue jean came first, number one.
But why? What was it that kind of grabbed you to then? And we're going to go into how you're such a dominating force now within the blue jean resurgence. But what caught you to an addiction to go down the path you did of becoming such an addict? Because you only got to talk to you for a couple of minutes, and we're going to go into it on how much you know about jeans. Did it really start from that kid just trying to look good on a budget, or was there something else that caused you to become such a professor on denim?
I found that resurgence in when I was at fashion school, and I was going through a transition from the Marine Corps. And in talking to my therapist, she said that every time I talked about denim, that I would light up. She said, "Don't ever let that go." And so it's been part of my therapy and transition. But again, it's rooted from my addiction to fashion since I was in high school all the way through. I joined the Marine Corps a little bit late. I was 31 years old. And when I was talking to the recruiter, I noticed that there was fashion school, one of the approved schools that the GI Bill would cover. So I asked him, like, okay, so you're telling me if I go Marine Corps infantry, I can go to this fashion school? And he said, I don't know why you would do that, but yes, it's in the book. So when I got orders out to Pico Rivera out in my second enlistment, I had an opportunity to go back to school. So at that point, the command asked me, hey, what school do you want to go to? And I told them fashion school. And of course, they all flipped, but they knew that, from boot camp, School of Infantry and everything, I was always well dressed. So the combat instructors and everyone, they would kind of make fun of me. Oh, look at Mr. Suave, or, poke fun at how I was dressing, but they were giving me compliments. So fashion has always been ingrained in me. When I was on ship, I got caught doodling. So I had my laptop and I was just being creative, designing some T-shirts and doing creative work to escape. And then the gunny came by and looked over my shoulder. Hey, what are you doing? And I closed my laptop, and he made me open it up and showed him. Next thing you know, I designed the company commander's plaque. I designed platoon T-shirts, and then I designed a battalion plaque that's over at the officers club in Okinawa.
Wow.
So the bug just kind of came back out. And, early on when I was 19 years old, I was designing soccer uniforms. I believe you guys call it football.
Yeah.
So I outfitted clubs here, in Ventura County. And then late 1990s, I partnered up with Paul Caligiuri. He played for the LA Galaxy, U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer. And I was designing collections for clubs. across Southern California. But I had a passion for fashion, streetwear, and it kept tugging at me.
Now, in the conversations we've been having, you haven't just decided, right, I'm going to start off at the basics of a denim jean. Mm-hmm. You know, you were telling me about Jean Street in Japan and Amsterdam and stuff. So you look at, and I'm ignorant to this. You know, I'm a mad fan of wearing selvage denim, but the intricacies of where they come, I'm not that wise on. Mm-hmm. I just know what I like, what style I like, and that kind of thing. But you were telling me about actually visiting Amsterdam's Hall of Fame of denim and Japan. That's quite a journey to really get to the bottom of jean. Why did you have to do that to understand what made a good jean and doesn't?
Part of the education and the bug that I had when I was in menswear, we went over to Dominican Republic and I saw 501s made start to finish. The tour was going really fast. They left me in the denim area. And so when FIDM started the first program in denim, I had to continue to explore. I wanted to know really what makes a good blue jean. The blue jean is one of the most iconic American, pieces in our history, and I had seen that it's been somewhat lost or gone. A lot of manufacturing's leaving, and so I wanted to take a dive and find out, okay, what makes a good blue jean? And through the program, I was able to go to those Japanese mills, and I noticed that there was rows and rows bales of U.S. cotton. So I found out that, yes, to make a good blue jean, you need a good yarn. To make a good yarn, you need good cotton. And the United States produces very good, high-quality cotton. And it strung a chord because even through the menswear program, when we visited other countries, I saw that common thread. And when I was in Japan, same thing. So U.S. cotton. So I continued to take a deeper dive. And I got to see the indigo dyeing techniques, hand indigo dyeing, ring spinning, the weaving on vintage shuttle looms out in Japan. And their looms out there were Toyota looms. So Toyota's been building shuttle looms since the early 1900s. So it was really interesting to see that. I thought I was going to go over there and find, rows and rows of Draper X3s and, the big myth that, we sent all of our looms to Japan. I get to Japan and they're like, no, we've been making our own looms, for a long time. And so I got to see the intricacies and how meticulous the Japanese are in their weaving techniques and whatnot. And then I was honored to be able to go to Denim City in Amsterdam and be part of a denim roundtable with Adriano Goldsmeed, François Gerbeau, and other greats, and continue my education. Went to G-Star headquarters, met their head designer, and kind of saw their archive. And just trying to find out really what is it? What makes an authentic blue jean? And starting from the actual fibers. So along this journey, I found myself talking to cotton farmers, ag input companies, and took a dive that probably most won't even bother to do. But for me, it was a passion play. And then once I figured out, okay, I put together what makes a good blue jean, then where does it live? Where should it live historically? All right. Now that I know way more than most, what am I going to do with it? And looking at history, I believe that, history proves it. The movie The Wild One with Marlon Brando, that is credited with making the 501 popular in pop culture, Hollywood. So before that, it was mainly workwear. As soon as it hit Hollywood, then from there you start to see it on, Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, James Dean. The rest is history. And then it starts diving into different cultures, from rock to early stages of hip hop, so on and so forth. Silhouettes going from straight leg to tapered to wide leg to, the whole denim silhouette and fashion journey. So that was fascinating. So I felt that we needed to, since a lot of that's been lost, a good starting point, since it was already proven, why reinvent the wheel? Let's start by reintroducing an American blue jean into the bike culture. And I was pretty fortunate to meet, Frankie Loyal, designed a jean. He ended up wearing it 70 years to the day from when the Wild One came out. It's back in Hollywood, back in an outlaw biker show. And I felt like, wow, this is denim history, American denim history. American cotton, American yarns, made here and back into the bike world.
I'm interrupting this podcast for 35 seconds to give you more value. If you are an ambitious entrepreneur looking for the opportunity in everything you come across, don't just listen to this podcast. Imagine taking part in these conversations every week. Imagine having a new network of creative and disruptive entrepreneurs to support and push you into becoming the person you can be. With this high level and exclusive community, it exists. Head to simsdistillery.com to learn more. I want to be careful with my statement here. Sitting next to obviously a very proud patriot here. We hear a lot about denim, and we hear a lot about Japanese looms.
Yes.
And you've already said that the Japanese looms are meticulously brilliant, and they use American cotton.
Yes.
Why was it so important to actually have the process done here in America to make a true American jean? Because you've already pointed out Levi's, which is probably one of the most famous denim brands in the planet.
Yes.
Dominican Republic.
Yes.
So why does anyone? I'll say direct. Does anyone really care where their jean is made, and should they?
I think they should. I've been fighting the fight for a little while. Their dollars don't reflect. I think everyone says they want made in USA, but when it comes time to pay for it, I think most shy away from it. And so I felt that I saw brands. I mean, I've been interning, with the factory since 2014, and here in Los Angeles, and then I just see everyone's leaving town. Then the pandemic hit, and everything shut down. People were having problems being able to get things here, and that's when I didn't have those problems. I was made here. So I found an opportunity in that. And everyone's like, man, what are you doing launching a brand on July 4th, 2020? And I said, I'm a Marine. Like, we go into the fire, we go into the danger, And I just felt that it was so important. Like, someone needed to jump in and fight. I believe that fight. I'm trying to hold on to jobs, the economy, here and contribute to what's here. I'm not knocking anything made overseas. I just feel like the United States should be a player, just another option for people. And to all the brands that are manufacturing here, I have a lot of respect and admiration for what they're doing, because it's extremely difficult price-wise. So what I see is happening is because our labor is so high, our prices are higher here in Los Angeles, manufacturers are not investing in the latest equipment and technology, so we're falling behind a little bit. And I just felt that there was that void in the market, and I felt a calling to do something about it, even on a small scale.
That makes sense. Being here in Southern California, we're blessed with a colourful culture, whether it be the culture of lowriders, graffiti, skaters, BMX, bikers, surfers, whatever. There's a wide range of colourful characteristics within living here in Southern California. Motorcycles have never not been cool, but they've always kind of bubbled up to the mainstream, and then they've gone away again. You brought up the Wild One, we had Easy Rider, of course we had Sons of Anarchy, we've got the Mayans, then recently we've had Ted Hardy again with Bike Rider.
Right.
So why was it important for you to not just get into producing jeans again? And I know through the Trinidad brand, you do other elements of the denim culture and the denim lifestyle, but why was it so important not for you to just produce a good solid blue jean, but one that applied and worked well for bikers?
It's the authenticity side of it that's important to me. Something real, something tangible. And I feel during these times people are trying to hold on to things that are they believe in and that are real. And I felt that with my background and story, that was important to me, and I felt that that's something that we can bring to the market, is authenticity, and again, offering them something that's not readily available. An American blue jean. Like I just did a trade show in Chicago in February. I took one jean. Everyone thought I was crazy, and I said, I'm taking a stand for the American blue jean. That's it. And they're like, in the beginning, they thought it was, a bold risk. They thought that FedEx lost my collection. They thought like I was, a little crazy. And I just felt that somebody needed to take a stand for a blue jean. Period. That's made here. Like, not knocking anyone else. It's just, this has been lost, but it's here. A blue jean.
I mean, how was the reception once they actually realised that you weren't stark raving nuts and you had actually just turned up with one pair of jeans?
Well, it took a day and a half, but I found out, that people from the other side of the building and from a marketing perspective, it was brilliant because people were talking about the booth with just one style that they hadn't seen before.
I can see that. Yeah. So basically,
and we
doing something different.
Yeah, doing things differently, and then just being really direct with the message. And we had some men's specialty retail stores that ended up picking up the product, and it was interesting because it really caught them off guard. They, everyone's reliant on imported goods and a bunch of other aesthetics, this and that. But when they got presented with, it's a blue jean, an American blue jean, made in America, like really. And it's not, of course, the most patriotic thing you can do in any country is serve, your country in the military. But that wasn't, the sole purpose. I just felt that there is that void in the market. And I felt that that's what would make me different than everybody else. Because in jeans, as you know, you get lost in a sea of blue very quickly and very easily. The denim industry will spit you out. It's unapologetic. People know what they want, and they're looking at, options. But if you're pretty much, they're used to buying vanilla ice cream and you're selling vanilla ice cream, unless you're a big player, you're making noise, yeah, they're set, especially in men. We're very stubborn. We buy the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
So I had to offer something different. And that's exactly what I stuck to my guns. It was a huge risk in a market that's wearing slim silhouettes, stretch, and these gentlemen have been buying the same brand for 20, 30 years.
Now give me a timeline. How long before the inception of, hey, I'm going to start doing jeans, to where we're sitting today? What's the timeline?
I would say 2013, I started at FIDM, and that's when I knew I wanted to take a deeper dive. I launched the brand in 2017, and then we got into wholesale. Great time to get into wholesale. It was February 2020.
Right, yeah, okay. Beginning of COVID, right, perfect. And you've just been picked up by Nordstrom. And congratulations on that. I want to focus now and twist on how the Frankie Loyal relationship came about. So you wanted to breed an American blue jean made in America, in the culture that you wanted to be in. And then now Frankie Loyal is a brand ambassador. Yes. And is not only seen wearing the jeans in the series The Mayans, but also, he wears them. I've met up with him a few times. He's always got your jeans on, and he's an ambassador and an advocate of the brand. How did that relationship come about?
He came across the brand over at, shout out to Espinosa Leather,
okay,
where he discovered it. Then he reached out, and we had a conversation similar to what we're having now about American blue jeans, and he had a problem with a fit that he wanted to solve and on the show. So I made him a prototype. He ended up putting over 20,000 miles on that prototype, and he put it to the test: wind, rain, all the elements. He only owns a couple Harleys, so I felt that he was the perfect person to partner up with to be able to launch a product because of the authenticity portion of it. And he lives breathes, eats. I mean, he is the lifestyle. So I felt that if he approves it and lives it, then I think the rest of the community will adopt it.
Now, you've actually been in a range of those, though. You've been in, as I mentioned right at the beginning of this, you've been in DGR, which is a very, still two-wheel, but very different kind of makeup to, say, like a Chopper Fest in Ventura. I'm going to ask you the darker side. Have there been any kind of like ups and downs of where you've tried to present the brand and people have resisted?
Yeah, so far, the resistance we've gotten has been with price. And I think once we educate them, it helps, let them know what they're buying. And we're opening up their eyes, because most consumers don't really know what they're buying. They're just buying a brand. They don't know where it's made. They don't know much about it. The two different markets, they're both on two wheels, but we've seen that with the blue jean, there's gentlemen that I found out, they wear it with the blazer, shirt, tie, and there's others that just T-shirt, their vests and whatnot. So it transcends, similar to what Levi's did, historically. So I wanted to explore those, and we saw, Frankie's very authentic. You saw him in a suit.
Yeah.
At DGR.
Yeah.
And
he looked very sharp.
Yeah, he looked great. Yeah, he looked really good, stood out. Anthony Brower, he rode in our black Loyal blue jean. He dressed it up. So again, it's just speaking to the core and the authenticity of a well-made blue jean. And I think that transcends markets, and we're testing it out. And what we're finding out is across these markets, they're accepting it. And I feel that with most brands have a hard time doing that. And as you know, in marketing and branding, it's a very delicate balance and not easy to do, to be hit.
And you're jumping into a tough, saturated market, because everyone and their dog's got a jean brand.
Yes.
And I don't know how long it would take you to actually repeat every single company in the planet that is selling jeans in America. And your difference is the fact that you're standing up and going, hey, we're an American jean made in America. You're not just focusing on that culture. You have other elements. You're doing, I know you're doing a lot of higher ticket items to athletes and professional sports individuals. Why divide both of your attention? From the authentic jean, so anywhere from 150 to 250 jean, and I think you've got another more tailored jean that's what is it, $850 or something?
950.
So why split your focus?
Well, my view and inspiration from the Marine Corps, we have our camis that we wear, daily out in training. We have our dress blues. There's different facets of where we can, as a brand, and my inspiration, where it comes from. So although a lot of people see a lot of differences, I see it as like one. Why the actual, blue jean tailored for the bike market is because I felt that there was a need for it, for that particular, fit and story there. And I feel that that's something that can be a staple, and it doesn't change. So I wanted to build a foundation for the brand. And then from there, I'm a designer, very creative. So I want to design other capsules and whatnot, but have a part of the company just be a classic for the ages. Like, that jean will not change. And I believe that a lot of, and I've seen other fashion brands go away from that. And then a couple of them filed bankruptcy, and they're going through things. So I just got back to the roots. And I felt that you build a strong foundation, then it'll allow me to do other things in the fashion world. But a blue jean will forever, stay blue and be a staple. And I just felt that historically, Levi's was able to, establish themselves and grow through this community, and then go into fashion, which I'm really passionate about. So again, it's my creative outlet. And with this blue jean, it's a raw blue jean. Creatively, it doesn't challenge me as much. The challenge was getting the pattern done, making sure that, the stitching, the fabric, the everything was like in play, and was able to pass the test of those gentlemen that are putting thousands of miles on their bikes while they're wearing these jeans. And we've had gentlemen ride across the country through all the elements. We have several that have put over tens of thousands of miles on these jeans, putting them to the test. And all of them saying, yeah, you make the best blue jean out there. And I feel like that is important to me, to have the authentic side. And then now I want to just continue my career as a creative and offer, other parts of the collection to other parts of the market that I'm passionate about. I love sports. I love a lot of different things out there, and it's a reflection of me. I mean, I was a machine gunner in the Marine Corps. I went to fashion school. People think, like, it's nuts, right? I mean, who does that? It's okay, I'll wait. It's very few. And again, the biggest thing that keeps me going every day and why I'm here is the most rewarding thing I've ever done in this industry was I made a jean for a Marine who lost his left leg and left eye in Afghanistan. He wears a high prosthetic, and I was able to impact his life in a positive way with the blue jean. And I want to continue to do that. And the way I can do that is by building a successful brand, and that's what keeps me going every day. I want to make a jean for every amputee in the United States. They're all full custom, but if I don't sell another jean again, Steve, I'm successful. I changed a life. A few of them actually now. So, mission accomplished. But, yeah.
So if someone wants to find out more about what you're up to, what you're doing, where's the best place for people to find you?
They can call you, Steve. You got my number?
I hope they don't. I don't want that ringing off while I'm asleep.
No, you could find me on Trinidad 3 Jeans. You can find us at the Loyal by Trinidad 3 on Instagram, trinidad3.com. Are the easiest ways to find me. I'm not hard to find.
All right, we're going to put the links in beneath the show notes in here. So I wish you absolutely all the best for your success. Congratulations on staying authentic. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. You know what to do. If you love it, share, subscribe, but more than anything, do something with it. And remember, life's too short to play it safe. So disrupt, connect, and grow. See you next time.